Imagine being told there is a fixed date for the end of everything. Not just your life, not just Earth, everything. For billions of years, the sun has followed a predictable path. It burns hydrogen in its core, slowly shifting through stages of stellar evolution. In roughly 5 billion years, it will expand into a red giant, engulfing the inner planets and ending all life on Earth as we know it. That is the accepted ending of the story, a slow, inevitable collapse written into physics itself. But now remove it. Remove the red giant phase entirely. Assume the sun never expands, never swallows the Earth, never gives the solar system a final deadline. What remains is something far more unsettling. Not an ending, but an absence of one. So the question changes. How far can humanity go? What causes the end of humanity? Or does it even end? At first, nothing changes. Earth continues orbiting the sun. Human beings still live and die in the same biological rhythm they always have. But something subtle disappears from human thinking. The idea of a guaranteed extinction event in the distant future. No final cosmic appointment. No universal deadline waiting in the background of all history. And without a known ending, humanity stops organizing itself around survival in the long term. It begins organizing itself around expansion. Not escape from extinction, but escape from limitation. Skipping the boring stuff, let's say 1 million years have passed. On a geological scale, this is still early. Continents shift, languages mutate beyond recognition, cultures that once defined entire civilizations dissolve into fragments of myth. But still, biology begins to drift under pressure from technology. Selection is no longer purely natural. It becomes guided, edited, and accelerated. Here's where it gets interesting. At this point, a human from the present would not recognize the future, not because of progress alone, but because continuity breaks. There are no longer ancestors in any meaningful sense, only distant origins, and even that connection begins to blur. Even without a dying sun, Earth does not remain stable forever. Over hundreds of millions of years, continents merge into new supercontinents, then break apart again. Oceans shift, climates reorganize, atmospheric composition changes slowly. Earth does not explode, but it does become different, less predictable, and more demanding. Eventually, a simple truth emerges. The planet that created humanity was never designed to keep it. So what do humans do to address this pressing issue? Well, they have two options: leave the planet or come together and try to fix it. But who cares? The choice becomes obvious. Mars propaganda has already taken over. Humanity spreads outward, first to orbital habitats, then to lunar and Martian colonies, then to engineered environments that no longer resemble planets at all. Earth stops being the center of human existence. It becomes a historical reference point, a birthplace that fewer and fewer descendants have ever seen directly. The species stops being planetary. It becomes distributed, fragmented across space. Now we are in the actual extinction phase. Bodies are modified to withstand radiation, low gravity, and artificial ecosystems. Cognitive systems begin merging with computation. Memory, perception, and decision-making are extended beyond biological limits. And this is where the question shifts again. If the descendants of humanity no longer resemble humans, is humanity still alive, or only its continuation? To be honest, humanity is now gone, just like the Australopithecines are gone. But wait, humanity is gone, but still, they are our descendants. Will they go on to live forever and evolve further? Actually, no. See, there is this concept called entropy. Even without a red giant sun, there is still physics. Stars exhaust fuel. Galaxies evolve toward lower energy states. The universe trends toward equilibrium.
Over incomprehensible time, usable energy becomes scarce. Civilizations face a new constraint, not extinction through catastrophe, but extinction through exhaustion.
No final moment, only reduction. The sun was never the true boundary. It was only a visible one, a comforting marker placed within human understanding of time. Remove it, and humanity does not gain immortality. Because without a fixed end, there is no final victory, only continuation. And continuation, stretched far enough, stops feeling like survival. It becomes drift. Eventually, even the idea of humanity dissolves into something broader, older, and harder to define. Not because it was destroyed, but because time does not preserve identity. It only preserves change. And somewhere in that endless change, long after Earth is gone, long after the sun is irrelevant, the original story ends without a moment of closure. Not with fire, not with impact, but with distance so large that even meaning cannot cross it anymore. And that is what remains when the universe refuses to end us on schedule.